tell me the origin story of Jameson. So before you became a celebrity credit repair guru, financial assistant, who were you before that, and what led you into credit repair?
Wow. So it's been publicized a lot that I was homeless about 8 years ago.
Okay.
I had situations that the bottom fell out of my life,
Right.
and I was homeless for about a week or two. And during that process, I walked away from everything. I had no car, I had no place to stay, and I invested in a cheap $200 laptop from Walmart
Okay.
and a flip phone. And I had the audacity to believe that I could actually start a business. Now, I knew that I knew everything as it related to credit,
Right.
but I did not have a clientele base. I did not have a business structure. I did not have a place for the company. So I set up shop in Starbucks during the daytime and in FedEx during the evening times. And I built a company literally from the ground up, from nothing. There were times that I sat in Starbucks and could not even afford a cup of coffee, to purchase a cup of coffee. And I was tempted to ask them for a job on many a days, but I pursued it and I stuck with it. I believed that I could actually be successful doing it. And 8 years later, it has become a multi-million-dollar business with tons of employees and tons of clients. And I talk about the celebrity clients, but we have over 100,000 regular clients.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about them. And so even though I post a lot about the celebrity clients, my regular clients are buying homes every day and getting everything that they need to get. And I think what's more important than the money is watching people actually lives change, and people who have rented all of their life getting into that first home and walking them through the whole process.
Right.
And then them sending you invitations, personal invitations to come to dinner
Right.
in that new house with them as they celebrate it. So that is worth more than the money.
So for
But
sure.
that's kind of like the short version of my story.
Got you. Let me ask you this. So why, 8 years ago, why credit repair? Like, why was that the business model? You like, I'm gonna enter this industry.
Because it was a need. And so I have always understood that business is basically about product and demand. And so I knew that there was a demand, especially within our community, within the Black community, because we're not educated, and we tend not to educate ourselves because we don't have the excuse to use anymore that no one told us. Because these days, everything is available at your fingertips. All of the knowledge is available at your fingertips, but we tend not to actually pursue it. And so I understood that for my people, that there was a need to actually supply that kind of service and to our people, and to make sure that they help them to walk them through all of the stages and getting what it is that they need to get credit-wise.
No, for sure. So credit has been, I don't want to call it a trend, but people are waking up and understanding the importance of credit and how they need to get their credit fixed, right? So for, our community, sometimes we start off, behind. We may have cards in our name that we didn't know of, or we were young and we got cards and, we weren't responsible with them, right? So a lot of times people tell us, you could dispute, get add to authorized users, but what if people don't have access to that? What if we don't have authorized users we can be added to? Like, what steps do you take people to help, who maybe start off negative, not even from ground zero, start off negative to help get them, their credit straight?
So I think that if you're going to be successful in credit repair, it is not just about helping people clean up the mess that they have made financially, but
Right.
you have to educate them all along the way. And in educating them, Educating them is how you actually empower them. If you fail to educate them, then you will have that same client 6 months from now that you cleaned up all of their issues, and now they're right back in the same situation. Right. So it is educating them. And when it comes to authorized user accounts, authorized users accounts are good to have someone to add you on and to enhance your credit score, but you really have to have like some primaries of your own into your credit report. Your credit report should not be simply built up off of someone else's credit and them adding you as an authorized user. And original creditors know what that is. So when you're applying for credit and new credit, they know that the accounts that are listed in your credit report, if they are only authorized user accounts, they know that these accounts really do not belong to you, and that you may not have the responsibility for making the payments. So the key to having or using authorized user accounts responsibly is to first add primary accounts that actually belong to you, and then simply use authorized user accounts as an enhancer to the accounts that you already have, so that when it is enhanced, they cannot tell which score is mainly affecting your, or which accounts are mainly affecting your credit score. So it's always good to have multiple different primary accounts, and that are going to belong to you. And you run the risk that if someone adds you onto theirs, if it ever goes negative, then that negative goes into your credit report as well. If they make a late payment, that late payment goes into your account. So I want my clients to be able to stand on their own 2 feet financially themselves, as opposed to being totally dependent on someone else to add them on and put their history in their credit reports.
Not for sure. That makes perfect sense. So when you were starting your business, who was like the first person that co-signed you? It could be a regular client or it could be a celebrity client. Who was the first person you're like, hey, James, I love what you're doing. I support you. I kind of want to help you grow. Like, who was like that first co-sign that kind of helped you get to the next level?
So I never intended to be like a celebrity, handle celebrity clients. I never even entertained the thought of having celebrity clients. But the first celebrity client that I got were the 2 guys from Travis Porter, the groups from Travis Porter, Don Quest, and their father. I knew their father, and I had taken care of their whole entire family's credit. And he said, well, my son is a rapper and he's with this group, and I want to refer him to you and have him take care of you. And so I took care of them, and it was successful. And they bought me the first MacBook Pro that I had as a bonus for what I had done for them and cleaning up their credit. And that's kind of like turned on the light, like, oh, maybe there is another avenue for this. And what I have come to realize that the celebrity environment is, whether it's the NBA, the NFL, actors, music industry, everybody knows everybody. Right. And so if you are good at what you do, everybody passes you around in that circle. Right. And so so that when someone told me a couple of weeks ago, Kanye West is moving to Atlanta, and he needs help with finding a house. He needs a real estate agent. And it was an artist that actually told me, and immediately I called the real estate agent and get on top of it, and assisting him with getting cars that he needs and some sprinters that he needed for here in Atlanta. And so it's just calling in those kind of connections and making everything happen. Everybody knows everybody knows everybody. And if you are good at what you do, everybody calls you. There has been several calls today regarding celebrity clients.
Oh, wow. So there
literally isn't a day that goes by that we don't get at least 1 or 2 new celebrity clients.
Okay. So for your day-to-day, where are your most calls coming from? Is it for like the concierge services, or is it mainly strictly credit repair? Which do you get like the most traction for on a daily basis?
So it's credit repair. The bread and butter is the credit repair. Mm-hmm. And so the other connections are not necessarily what you make money off of, right. But it is, if you're going to be successful, you have to have this cabinet of professionals that reach out. So Kanye West did not need credit repair services. He needed a house. He
Right.
needed a mansion in Atlanta. And so my job is to put him with the top real estate agent in Atlanta that can make it happen.
For sure.
So you have to be, if you're going to be successful, you have to be able to have your hands in multiple different pots and be able to have a crew around you that can make everything that you need to make happen for you. For whatever the client needs, you need to be able to reach and make it happen.
It seems like those relationships are extremely important. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yes.
you know, those relationships actually can be life changing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Of sorts. So with you, what do you think it is that draws people to you? Because just in, I'm gonna say this year and last year alone, with credit repair being, you know, a popular thing in business and for individuals, you see a lot more people coming into the industry and offering credit repair. So what do you think is it about you that makes you stand out and makes people trust you and want to work with you opposed to anybody else who does credit repair?
Well, so I sort of like have this image. So I have sort of like taken on this extravagant image of what it is I do.
Right.
I post videos on almost 2 or 3 times a week. I keep a videographer working my concept on it. I have branding endorsements with Rolls Royce and with Lamborghini and Versace and Louis Vuitton. And so I have learned how to actually market myself, and having a great publicist like Ivan that can get me on the red carpets to everything on every major event. So I'm always whatever's going on, I'm always there. Right. So if it's the Grammys, it's the music awards, whatever it is, you're going to see me there. I'll be backstage, I'll be networking, and I make myself relevant to the situation. And I also understand that I'm not going to the Grammys to hear the music. I'm going to the Grammys to collect clients. Right. So it's a perfect networking avenue for me. I'm there to shake as many hands, but I'm sort of like my own fashion designer. So I got this flair of swag and drip nobody else has. And so if I'm on that red carpet, they'll be talking about me for the most part. For a guy, they'll be talking about me more than anybody else. So I do these over the top designs that I design myself. I have a tailor, but I decide the look, how I want it and everything else. And I buy the material from Versace and Louis Vuitton and get all the material and design it myself.
Right. So was fashion something you were always into, or was that something that as you became more popular and growing your brand, you were like, I'm also going to dabble into fashion, or was fashion something there from the beginning?
It was always there. So I was always like a showman, but I never had the avenue to actually do it. And it's just that when doors start to open, then it's always wise to be able to understand that when a door opens, you have the responsibility to be ready and to actually be a door stopper. So it's just when that door opens, I need to be able to leave everybody talking about me.
Right.
So that's my plan. So when that door opens, I need to be able to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. So I'm always like doing something over the top. I had one suit that had a 6-foot train, all white, 6-foot train, dragging behind. I'm always doing something major with Louis Vuitton, or something major with Versace, or something major with Burberry. And it's always something that you could never find in the store. Right. It's the kind of stuff that you would see at Fashion Week in New York.
Right. So I want your opinion on something. So appearance is everything. Image is everything. Like people base a lot on your image, right? What are your thoughts on the fake it till you make it culture? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think people should?
What are my thoughts on? Say it again. What are my thoughts on what?
On the fake it till you make it culture, right? So acting like you have it until you actually have it. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think that if you can get caught up into faking it until you're almost labeled a fake.
Right.
So that I would tend to stay away from faking it till you make it. I would say that before you actually can afford to purchase a Rolls Royce, it might be good to have and to do things and to do photo shoots and to present yourself in a certain light. But I would stay away from the idea of faking it or saying that this belongs to me when it really doesn't belong to you.
Right.
Because people will blow you out and people will reveal that you really don't have it the way that you project that you actually have it. So, and it can be embarrassing if you put yourself out there and then have to walk all of that back. So I say, if it is the image that you want to have, and if you see yourself on a certain level, then you should probably do everything to actually make it to that level and project that, because I believe in the power of spoken word and the power of visual and seeing a thing before you can make it happen. And so sometimes it's good to actually see a thing and then to have people see you on a certain level so that they then accept you. I think that a lot of my success has been other people have saw me on levels that I was not yet on, and it helped me to get to the levels that I am on now.
Right. So basically,
so I wouldn't call it faking it till I make it, but I would certainly call it projecting it until it actually happened.
Right. So people saw a lot of the greatness in you before you saw it within yourself, and it helped you get to that next level.
Yes, they saw it in me, and it's always kind of like you're in control of your image at all times. So when you step outside of your house, you're basically on stage, and so you're responsible for that image. And how you project yourself to the world is how the world will perceive you. So you have to present yourself in the right possible light so that you can be seen on the level and people project you on the level and see you on that level of actually making it. So I think that a part of my branding is about, I need to be able to show this lifestyle of what credit can get you. I need to be able to show this black card lifestyle, and that is some of everybody has. Lil Baby shot his a recent video in my house. Day Day has shot his video in my house. My son has shot his video in my house. And so I have all of these celebrity clients that come here and shoot their videos in my house because of the way I live. They're attracted to the way that I live and able to actually now shoot their videos in there and just pretend that it's their house.
Right.
So they shoot their videos in my house.
That's all. So that was early on in the career, or was this like recently?
No, it's just recently. Okay. So I mean, all of that has happened like within about the last year. But it's the same house that I'm in now. I have like multiple homes here in Buckhead. So there's other homes like up the street and high-rise condos. So it depends on what it is that I'm doing. But it's always about the branding. It's always about seeing yourself and showing yourself. I'm going to do, I did a photo shoot in this house 2 or 3 days ago. I'll be doing a photo shoot at the condo sometime this weekend. It's always about projecting. It's always about the latest outfit, the latest stuff. And these days, because of coronavirus, we can't like get out and be everywhere else. So in order to stay relevant, you got to like bring in these photographers and these videographers and just continue to build that brand. I need to be able to build that brand as high as I need to build it in order to stay relevant.
Yeah, for sure. So early on, you said, you mentioned, these artists and celebrities wanting to obtain, that black card, right? So everybody puts the black card on this pedestal, right? So honestly, tell us what it takes to obtain a black card.
Well, not everybody should be trying to get the black card. So you, in order to receive an invitation
Okay.
to get an American Express black card, you have to already have an American Express card and spend a total of $250,000 in one calendar year, and that is from January the 1st until December 31st.
Okay.
So if you spend 250,000 or better in one calendar year, let's say on your platinum card with American Express, then American Express will send you an invitation to become a black card member. And that invitation is an exclusive invitation. But the catch is, the fine print is that you have to maintain that spending 250,000 a year
Okay.
in order to keep that card.
Okay.
And so it's a really prestigious card to have, but you can't have it unless you really live that kind of lifestyle where you actually spend that kind of money. And so the NBA players, the NFL players that are currently playing, and some of the music industry people, then it's the kind of card that they would like to get, and they have the kind of lifestyle that they can actually afford to actually have that kind of card. And there are trappings that go along with it. And so I know some people that you know who have had that American Express black card and has had to come to me to get it off of their credit report because they were unable to keep it, or they neglected to pay. Remember that that's one of the cards that you have to pay in full. So if you charge $800,000 in a month, which is easy,
Right.
on that card because it has $1 million plus limit. If you charge $800,000 in that month, when it comes to the first of the month of that billing cycle is it comes around, and within 30 days, you owe that amount in full.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. So you owe the full.
Yeah, so it
every
does
month.
not carry a revolving balance. It's a charge card.
Okay.
And so it must be paid in full. And sometimes it is not that the celebrity clients don't have the money to pay it. It is just simply because of their lifestyle and what they do. They can neglect to pay it because they forgot about it and no one reminded them that the payment was due, and they neglected to pay it. And American Express is quick to charge it off because that kind of balance is makes it a big risk to them. So if you don't pay it, they're going to quickly charge that account off, and you will end up coming to see me.
No, for sure. So, I'm not gonna keep you too much longer, but our community is full of entrepreneurs, right? A lot of our community are entrepreneur based, or they want to become an entrepreneur. And the big thing or the big talk is business credit, right? So yes, you have your personal credit, which needs to be maintained. You need to keep that up, and then business credit is a whole new thing. From your experience, like what are a couple of tips you would give people who maybe started a business in 2020 who wants to obtain business credit, whether it's business credit cards or small business loans in 2021? What are some things they should do early on to establish themselves to be able to get business credit?
All right. So if you are an entrepreneur, and whether you have started a business yet, what you do with your personal credit is actually paving the way for your business credit.
Right.
So when you go into the bank and you start that company up, and you go into the bank to get a business loan, to apply for business credit cards, and you don't already have business credit established, then they're going to use your personal credit and your FICO credit score as a guarantor for your business.
Right.
And their perspective is how the business owner pays his or her personal credit is an indication on how he will actually pay his business credit.
Right.
And so initially, they will use you as a personal guarantor for your company. So always maintain and ensure that you keep your business credit on uptight. I mean, your personal credit up to par, get
Right.
that score up, that FICO score up as high as possible. But At the same time, when you're starting that business, then you need to aggressively begin to start building your paydex score. And that paydex score is your business credit score. And you need to have, in order to build that paydex score, you need to have 4 or more trade lines that are reporting to Dun and Bradstreet. And those 4 or more accounts, if you have just 3 accounts that's reporting to Dun and Bradstreet, it's not even building your paydex score. So you got to have at least 4. But my advice is to have 8 to 10 accounts initially that are building it. Dun and Bradstreet has a branch of their office that is designed for small business owners to assist them for free with building their business credit scores up, and they will walk you through it and help you. My advice to any business owner and future business owner is that long before you even apply for a business license, you should be already thinking about your business credit, because that is the lifeline for your company. And the reason why most companies never last more than 2 years and go belly up within 2 years is because the business had a great idea, but they did not handle their finances, and they did not lay a foundation of their finances, and the business went belly up. And someone else who did take care of their finances will see your loss and come behind you and take your idea and your concept and then build it, because they have the financial means to build it, and still run away with your whole business concept.
Right. Not for sure. I've seen it. So like with those accounts, like, for our company, we've done some research, and like I think one with like a U line. But like, who are other vendors people should use that reports to Duns? If you could just give us like 1 or 2 that maybe like.
So initially, I mean, things that an average company would need. So if it comes to having an account with FedEx, having an account with Office Depot, Staples, Best Buy, they report to Dun and Bradstreet. And so if your company is buying their computers, then you might want to have it get an account with the, Best Buy, so that Best Buy can report it to Dun and Bradstreet. You want to have, if you're shipping a lot, then you might want to have that FedEx account and open up that FedEx account. Office supplies and stationary items and all of that, you want to have it with Office Depot and Staples. So the office that assess small businesses at Dun and Bradstreet, they will go through it and find out what it is you offer and what kind of business you offer, and then they will assist you with actually building up the kind of companies that report to Dun and Bradstreet. And the key is, not only does other businesses like Office Depot and all of them report to Dun and Bradstreet, if you know other business owners that you do business with, and if they have a Dun and Bradstreet Dun's number and they report to Dun and Bradstreet, they can report onto your business credit report, and you can report onto theirs. And you can build each other's up. And that's what our people need to understand, is that we have the power in which to help each other come up. We don't necessarily have to wait for the man to give us this. We can assist each other. As we're pulling up, we're not like stepping on each other and pulling each other down, but we can uplift each other by assisting each other with building everyone that has a business, making sure that everybody has a DUNS number and everybody's reporting on each person's credit report.
Man, that's amazing. So real quick before we get, I want to talk about the hunt. The hunt, which is for the people. So give us more information on the hunt. Who's it for? How can people get involved? Because I feel like that's a great program that people need to hear more about.
Yeah, so when I started my business, I made sure that I did not just simply run out to Morehouse or Spelman to do the hiring. I sought to have people who was disenfranchised, and people who did not have an opportunity, and to hire them, regroup them, educate them, and put them in the right kind of environment. And it has been the greatest legacy for me is hiring. I hired a busboy who was being talked crazy to in front at this high-end restaurant here in Buckhead by his white manager. And or several of us were outraged by how that he was being treated. And I think that the power is in one of the benefits of having success is that if you see somebody being wronged, if you see a situation that is wrong, then you can actually straighten it out. And I took a person that I did not know who was a busboy, and I hired him, and that busboy became my office manager. And he now makes $78,000 a year. And it's been he's been making $78,000 a year since about 6 months of working for me. So he is, and currently is the office manager. So it is and so the hunt is taking these at-risk young African-American men whom society has shunned and said that they're in dangerous and they have all of the taboos that come with being in this skin, and being able to empower them and put them into places where now they got their own. All of my employees got good credit. Right. They got most of them did not have an apartment when they came to work for me. Didn't have their own place. They not only have their own place, but they live in Buckhead, which is the most affluent area in Atlanta, and they're driving new cars. They got credit. They got good credit. I make sure that they maintain the credit, and so I'm teaching them. And they, I think that the greatest part of the success of the hunt is the employees who have worked for me for 3 or 4 years and then started their own companies and are extremely successful in their own companies. And I recently had a Christmas party, and I brought back all of the former employees and everything else, and watching all of them pull up in their expensive exotic cars and everybody, and knowing the success that they have, and realizing that you had a hand in their success, and knowing where they came from and until where they are right now. I think that is really like the greatest accomplishment that you can have as a business owner, to be able to say that I took someone from nothing and taught them. And I say that you're really not a baller, or you're really not a successful businessman until you are breeding successful businessmen.
Nah, that's amazing. And that leads us to, our last and great question is, you've been on both sides of the spectrum. You've been homeless. Now you're a multimillionaire, and you've done the same for others. You've seen people start at the beginning and help them grow within your company and outside your company. Leave us with a motivation or a business tip that you would want to share to somebody else who wants to follow in your footsteps, or somebody else who should be in your program. Like, just leave it with some motivation from James Hunt.
Wow, the motivation is, I think that the key to my success is that I never forgot from which I came. And I think that where I came from was tied to my success. And so that once you get there, to whom much is given, much is required. So you have a responsibility to pull others up, just as you were pulled up and others made a way for you to be pulled up. Then you have a responsibility to pull other people up. And I think that sometimes we become real selfish with our own success, and it's only about you. And I think God knows who he can trust with giving real success to, and he knows that if he puts it in your hands, that you won't hold it to yourself, but you will actually open that hand and make sure that other people are able to eat from that hand. And that he can trust you, that when with your hands are open, that he can still add more to it. And so the success and the continual success is that my hands stay open to help other people.
All right. You heard it here first on COSIGN Conversations. Appreciate your time, James. Tell us people where they can find you at, your website, and where they can get more information on what you do.
The website is www.celebritycreditguru.com, on Instagram at Who is James Hunt, Facebook as James Hunt, 404-998-2516 is the office phone number. And I basically work 7 days a week, so I don't have a time off. I'm going to South Beach this weekend, but I'm taking employees with me.
That's cool.
And they're taking laptops, so we'll be working the whole weekend too.
I appreciate your time, James. I'll be in Atlanta next month, so I'm about to get with Ivan, and we have to connect when I get out there.
Yes, sir.
For part 2. So appreciate your time, man, and continue much success.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have an amazing day, brother.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
All right.